All right, everybody. How's it going? What's up? We're here. Hey, RV DJ, how are you? Nice to see you. It's going to be just me tonight. Sherry's under the weather. She's not doing well. So it's going to be me holding down the fort, doing my best to type and talk and look at the camera at the same time and keep it all together as best as possible. Hey, Roy and Becky's Travels. Nice to see you guys. Waiting for more people to come in. Howdy, 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 howdy. And we have our resident mascot right there. Oscar's over there hanging out behind on top of the recliner in his spot. He's got several spots, but he's here. So thanks for coming in. It's it's a rainy day in Central Florida on the Space Coast today. It has some thunder showers and it's all going on. Hey, RV Dog, thanks for coming in. Daydream about nice things. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. It's just me today. Sherry's not feeling well today at all. So please pray for her. I would appreciate that. So she's laying down, taking it easy, trying to get better. So we're hanging out in the RV. Um, I was trying to make some more RV camping reservations today. I had to make some phone calls because Orange County here in Central Florida, when you want to make a reservation on their campsite website, they have me blocked for some reason. I must have entered the wrong password. They blocked me out, so I had to make them fix that for me. Hey, Stream Elements. And thank you for praying for my wife, Sherry. She's not feeling well. Appreciate it, RV DJ. Yeah, so I made a call today and talked to somebody in the office of the county Parks and Recreation to get me so I can log in and make reservations. So I made 2 reservations today. I made some dates. Let's see. I made 2 camping reservations, one this year and one next year, because that's how far I had to go to get a spot with an RV site that was big enough to fit us. So I got an email confirmation in Orange County. I made a reservation for Trimble Park. It's really small. I think it's got 14, 15 sites only, really small park on a lake. So I made that reservation. Let's see here, October. I made it in October. They had a couple sites I could have got in that weren't as nice, and they weren't on the water. It's because it's on a lake. So I really wanted to get something to where you could see the lake from your campsite. Hey, Scott Jacobs in Appreciation. How are you? Rayleigh Creative Travel. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Just talking about some reservations I just made in Orlando area called Mount Dora. It's in the Mount Dora area. It's called Trimble Park. I've never been to this park, so I've heard good things about it. It's got like a 4.5-star rating, so I'm looking forward to doing it with a very few campsites. So that's really cool that it's a small campground. No alcohol allowed or pets. I'm not sure about the pet thing. I'm not sure about that. I think that was Kelly Park, which is in the same county, as far as the pets, but no alcohol allowed. I also made a reservation in Fort DeSoto, which is over there in Tampa Bay area, which I've heard great things about. I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I made that in February of next year. Gonna head over there. So looking forward to hitting parks that I've never been to. So I'm excited about that. So we appreciate you guys coming in again. I mentioned it is raining over here in Central Florida on the Space Coast. It wasn't raining till about an hour ago or less. It really wasn't raining. Yes, there is a hurricane track coming our way out there in the Caribbean. I looked at the forecast track. It looks like, if it stays on that track, which we don't know, it won't It won't be a bad impact, severe, but it's too far out to know. So right now, there's they're saying it's going to be a category 1, which would be, not as powerful, which is a good thing. So hopefully that will not turn out to be a major hurricane. So Sherry's over there helping me on her phone. So that's nice of her to help, because she's used to manning the controls. I'm used to just sometimes touching the chat to see uh to put the comment up, all that. She's good at all that stuff. Yeah, my brothers and sisters have been to Fort DeSoto. I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to going. The camera shakes because I'm trying to tap the mouse. See, because I'm using her laptop, and I don't use her laptop. So I don't know where the sweet spot is to hit the left click. So yeah, I'm looking forward to heading over to Fort DeSoto. I've seen pictures. It looks amazing. And some other friends have told me all about it. So looking forward to that. We got another trip that we have already scheduled for the end of this month. We're looking to head out to, I think it's John Dickinson. I think that's the name of it. South Florida, toward West Palm Beach area. It's about 2.5 hours from here, something like that. I don't know exactly how far it is. I think it's John Dickinson. Let me type in my map to tell me. John Dickinson Reserve State Park. Yep, Jonathan Dickinson State Park. That's it. So it says here that it's 2 hours from here. 1 hour and 49 minutes from this location. So that's not too bad. So we're gonna be heading out there for the next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Actually, every 2 weeks we got to dump our black tank. So we're right at the where we got to dump. So I actually was checking it today and went, that's the fullest I've ever seen it. So if I didn't have to do this live, I might have packed up the trailer and took it to the dump station, which is about 2.5 miles down the road. But we got to take care of this business. So I'll be doing that as soon as I get off work tomorrow. Hopefully it's not raining. But I was looking at the radar, and there's lots and lots of rain in my area that I'm thankful that we're not getting dumped on. Because when I was driving around, because I'm a county roofer, so I was driving around yesterday, and there were still in the morning from the next day flooded retention ditches and things like that. So we don't need a ton of rain. We always can take some rain because we're a swamp basically, and we do absorb it pretty well, but just not so much so quickly. So Homestead Aquarius, thanks for stopping in. The puppy needed a bath. That's funny. Yeah, puppy needs a bath. You always want to keep it fresh, right? Keep them animals clean and fresh so they're not scratching and itching. Yeah. Yeah, Papa Drew, we're pretty good at 2 weeks. But I think what I did is I wasn't thinking. I dumped our soapy dish soap water into the black tank, because when you're out, they always say, dump your gray soapy water into your black tank. It kind of helps with keeping lots of water in your black tank to keep everything loose and moving, and also keeps from filling up your gray tanks, which is a good thing. But here, it's not a big deal. For us with the gray tanks, it's a big deal with the black tanks. So all that to say that I was washing and dumping gray water into the black tank. So now I'm filled up faster than I expected. And I looked at it today and went, oh no, that's the highest I've ever seen it. I've never had a bad incident with the black tank yet. I've only been RVing about 2 years. So I haven't had an accident yet. I haven't had to clean up a mess yet, thank God. I think the worst thing I did was the first time I ever dumped my black tanks. I dumped the gray tank first and then the black tank second. So I had a really stinky slinky after that. So I learned that lesson one dump late. So that's really the only run-in I've had with black tank accidents. I'm hoping I'm not going to have an issue now because I think it's above the floor, which is not good. I hope that's not too much information for people. So, the toilet bolts to the floor and it's sealed and all that. And now it's like, is that above the floor? It's really close. And then that's why I say if I could go dump it right now, I would. But the place is probably closed. They wouldn't want you in there anyway. It's a KOA. They may let you go. I don't know, but it'll be getting dark here pretty soon, probably around 8-ish, 8:30-ish. So, we'd have to put up a few things to take off. It would be a big job. So I'll be doing that when I get off work tomorrow, first thing. So that's a highest priority right now. All right. So I am in the middle of editing part 2 of Myakka River State Park camping video, and it's going to be longer than part 1. All right. That's going to be, oh, Oscar sneezed, scared me. It's going to be a long part 2. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm up over 20 minutes yet. And I still got probably, I would say, a good quarter to go. So it's going to be a long one. Might be pushing close to 30 minutes for a part 2. So what do you guys think about that? Let's see. I'm reading the comments here. Papa Drew, let's see if we can get your comment up here. Wait, we want to get it. We want to get it in order. I never told the story. Look, see, I'm not very good at this. All right. I know what it is. I was yelling, turn it off. For the love of God, turn it off. My wife, who was in charge of the hose, did not hear me. It was bad. Never ever do that. Turn it off. Okay. Okay. I'm sure it's a whole story. Why she was in control of the flow. Oh, because see, I went backwards in chronological order. I hit the so the chat moves up, right? And I go to click it and it moves up. I stuck my high pressure hose in and it sprayed back into the RV. Oh, wow. That's never gonna happen to me, I pray. Never. That makes me think about Dirty Jobs. I don't know if you've seen Mike Rowe do Dirty Jobs, and one time he was in New York. Yes, we'd love to have a tote, but that stuff costs money. So we always have to prioritize. Right now, like I said, we're prioritizing between needs and wants. We really need an action camera really bad. So we went ahead and bought the action camera. We would love to have a tote, but we're trying to save the money to pay off Sherry's car. So, we're moving in the right direction. We're not getting as quick as we can because of expenses. But we're moving in the right direction constantly. So that's a positive note. So yes, we would love, hey, Tumbleweed RV Life. Nice to see you. If I miss anybody, let's see here. No, I think I got everybody. Yeah, it's one of those things we want to have, but it's, you just can't have it all at once. We want a lot of things, but we're not rolling in the Benjamins like we would love to be until we pay off Sherry's car. And then I have a truck, and then we have a camper. So we have a few things lined up to pay off, and we got to keep watching our nickels and dimes. And of course, that's how rich we are, people. We are all rich we are definitely financially rich compared to a lot of people. Hey, Victoria, May, thanks for coming in. Good to see you guys. Let's see, plastic 55-gallon drum. Oh, wow. It's always fun, you know? It's always fun to look at the chat. All right, now I can't. Let's see here. I'm trying something different here. Hang in there. I don't want to make a mistake here. Yeah, I can't move the. Sherry would have to show me how to do that, but I can't scroll the chat back up. If I miss something, I can't get back to it. So Victoria, hey, Avenger, hey, everybody's saying hey. Thanks, Avenger RV Adventure. A couple of A's in there. So I was trying to. Somebody said hi to the cat, and I couldn't get back to it.
All right. So if you want to, you can like. Oh, I'm getting mauled by the cat,
Yeah.
actually.
All right. So
you can just click on the shows, the 3 buttons, and
I know I was trying to scroll.
2 fingers.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
It's just the 2 fingers, and then you just have to say we'll tap on anybody.
I know. I don't know why I wasn't tapping very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back in the chat because I know I missed some things. Yes, our RV Dog said, let me see if I can highlight it. RV Dog said, Mayaka looks like a great campground. The thing about Mayaka that I want to make clear is they have 2 campground areas that are more, let's say, rustic or woodsy or old style. And then they have one area that is really modern with like gravel, flat pads, and full hookups, with nice, kind of woods between the sites. The other 2, the prairie and the flats, I believe, do not have woods separating the campsites. I personally like to have a little more privacy, to have some woods between the campsites. So be aware of that if you're going to go to Mayaka. Wonderful park. If that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But just so you know, the 2 areas that don't have full hookups don't have any barriers between you and another camper. And the one area does. I already forgot the name of it, because there's 3 camping areas. There were 2 camping areas right up as soon as you enter the park. Was the old prairie, and the other one I don't remember. I don't want to get up because I got to move everything to get the map. But the flats was more, like I said, you saw in the video where there was no boundary between you and the neighbor. So, like I said, I prefer to have a little more privacy with some kind of woods or foliage or something separating me and my neighbor, unless it's my sister or family member. So it is a great part. I love it. Thank you. It is a great part. Let's see. It's called Palmetto. Sherry got up and handed to me. Palmetto Ridge Campground is the one that has pull-through sites and full hookups, and has like boundaries between the campsites, which I really love. And the first time I went there, that's where I went. And the second time I went there, we went to the flats, which was very pretty, but didn't have any kind of privacy. But it did have that swamp right there. Let's look at the chat here. I'm just now reading Papa Drew's after he had the black tank accident. He said he cried in front of his kids for the first time. Yeah, I haven't. I have to say I haven't really cried in front of my kids except when I went through a divorce. Then yeah, I did cry in front of them. But other than that, no. All right, let's see if we can go to the next one. It says plastic drums are free or a few bucks for a car wash. Okay. I think you're referring to black tank, dumping the black tank in it, I'm guessing. But eventually, yeah, we always eye them every time we go to the RV store. We're looking at them all the time. You know, we want to get one of those little totes. But most of our trips are really short. You know, we're only going 2 and 3 and 4 days, except for the top of the year and the bottom of the year. You know, at the top of the year during Christmas, we'll go for longer trips. And during the Keys, we typically try to go longer trip there. Every other camp trip we do is usually 2 to 3, sometimes 4 days at the most usually. So that's our channel name is RV Weekends, because we're doing most of our RVing on the weekends. Besides the obvious, we became full-time RVers. Other than that, we RV on the weekends, so we don't really fill up our tanks when we go camping, and that's a wonderful thing. But it would be kind of like a cool thing if you were full-time and you had the money to go full-time. That would be great as far as traveling around the country. So like I said, I'm working on Myakka State Park Part 2, and there's so much in there. I hope, does anybody, I want to get some feedback after you watch it, if you like hiking trails, because it is a natural park. So there's a lot of nature. So if you aren't into nature, this is not necessarily the video for you. But, you know, I try to be somewhat of a outsider looking in when it comes to watching videos, because I know what I get annoyed by or I lose interest in or don't want to see. All right, Oscar. Yeah, move on, please. So, you know, there's a lot of walking through the woods, but I watched it and it seemed interesting to me. So I'm not like cutting it out. You know, some people, they have so much, they're always on the move so much that they can just go, we did a hike, and then they move on. But for us, it was half our day was doing a hike. Basically, we went hiking and saw cool stuff. So I thought, yeah, meow. So I thought I'd put it in the video, and we were talking on screen. You know, we're trying to watch other channels to learn what's more interesting. So we're trying to do more video of us while we're walking and chatting and things like that. Something that we see other people doing, and we find that is actually interesting to do, to watch people talking to the camera. I never understood it when I watched these lives. They weren't really interesting to me, and I wasn't really thinking people would want to sit here and watch you talk, but they do. They do. I mean, we got 13 people in here sitting in here watching me talk, including my wife watching me talk. So people like it. So we're going to do what people like to get the viewers and get the watch hours, because that's the goal, right? The more watch hours you get, the more views you get, the more money, or the money you can make. You know, we're not monetized, so we're working toward that. That is our ultimate goal, is to, we put our goals big because we want to achieve them. We're not going to, our hearts won't be broken if we don't achieve it, but our goals are to be full-time RVers, full-time YouTubers, and not have to work. But of course, we got to become more charismatic, right? We got to become these crazy people or something to make people watch you, right? So I don't know. I'm a funny guy, I think, sometimes, but I'm also a regular guy and serious a lot of times, so it can be boring. So all that to say, there's going to be a lot of hiking in this video, and then we go to that cool canopy walk bridge thing out in the woods. It's really cool, and I got good pictures of it. You're going to really like it. I liked it watching it again. Yes, right. Daydream about nice things. We don't limit our God. We don't limit ourselves. We keep our brothers lifted up, and we lift ourselves up to achieve greatness. Yes, we're sitting. Thank you. Yes. all that to say, the reason I got on that subject for those of you who came in late is I usually monitor our black tank. You know, we usually get a couple of weeks out of storage out of our blank tank because we're two people and we both have jobs. So we're about at that 2 week point because we came back from the Keys on a Saturday. So tomorrow's Friday, and then the next day will be Saturday. That will be 2 weeks. So I'm checking it, Wednesday, and I'm looking, down in the tank because I don't go by the electronic lights. That's not a fine tuned method. So looking down the toilet with a flashlight is definitely the foolproof way. So I was looking down there going, it's not that bad. It looks pretty good on Wednesday. And then I dumped some gray water from my washing my dishes in there a couple times. And then I was looking at it today going, whoa, wow, that's way too high, higher than I've ever seen it. And if I could go dump right now, I would, but we have a live to do so. And it's late. So I had a wife in bed. So I don't know. She would have to ride. Come on. She'd have to ride. But tomorrow, right when I get off work, I will be packing this place up and going down the road a couple of miles, 2.5 miles or so, to dump the black tanks immediately. So let's see. See, that's why we were talking about it. Because I think it was Papa Drew started talking about his accidents. And I said, I haven't had an accident yet, a serious accident with my black tank. So, all right. So I'm trying to tap something on the screen here. Yes, you are funny. Beach fashion always helps, though. You get out there in a Speedo, and that will never happen. Yeah, I don't wear a Speedo, period. I don't care in private. I don't wear a Speedo. So it's not a good look. We were somewhere in the Keys, I guess. Somebody was wearing one, and I said, how would you like me to wear that, honey? He's like, no. I said, but my dad used to wear them. And that was normal back, in the 70s. That was normal. So I don't want that kind of excitement.
Or scarring.
All right, I'm reading Daydream About, and I think I had rather be disappointed because I only met 80% of the high goal than to try to be happy meeting a very small goal. I hear you. When I think of small goals, my last job was full of small goals. I really enjoyed it because it was gratifying, but it was a daily goal thing, so I was achieving little goals. But I'm with you. We want to think about where we want to be. Another thing I've been thinking about, let me read this. Never ever trust the lights in the camper. That's right. They call them idiot lights for a reason. Haha. Yeah. They're not. These lights are very vague, It's at 0 when you empty it, but the moment you flush it, it goes to 1/3. Like, really? I put in 1/3 with one flush? No. So, yeah, look straight down the toilet and down that dark hole and watch that water rise. And that's the best way to, in my opinion, to know when you got to dump your tanks. So I'm right with you. So I'm looking here at more comments to try to talk back to you guys. And your chat is make sure you video the tank dump. What can happen with an overfilled black tank? No. Yeah, I have videotaped a tank dump. And I think I have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I ever used it. Did we ever use that?
I think we did. I don't know.
I don't remember. If I wore a kilt in Walmart riding a plastic horse yelling, "You may take our land, but never take our freedom," I would wear a man thong. Why not? I do not have to look at myself. Yeah, that's the whole point, is to be considerate to others. That's why they make those videos about what people wear in Walmart. Because it's grotesque and it's inappropriate for young children. On a serious note, here's a serious note. I hate it when I see those bumper stickers that have foul language, or they have the cartoon character urinating on the word of their ex-spouse. because it's just not the way we want to treat people. We don't, and none of us would do that here, but I see people do it. Now I got to explain to my kid what that means. A kid that's, 8 that can read or whatever. I got to explain that. So, yeah, I don't, and again, I know it's a joke, Lucky Dog. I know it is. But I tend to think about children a lot. Because I really, really always remember how I felt when I was a child. Sherry, Fordman, aka Kenneth Oak. Sherry is not feeling well, so she's resting, and she asked me if I would do this. So please pray for her. We appreciate it. She's dealing with the Lyme disease, and it's those up and down days and stuff. So it's not been a good day. So thanks for asking about her. I know she's much better looking than me. It's okay to urinate on a ram. Really? Did you know that urine is not considered biohazard waste by somebody? I forget who it is, but it's not illegal to, it's not sewage. Urine is not considered sewage, which I don't know how it's not, because I don't know if you've ever been in a place like a rest area where people have urinated all over the street, the parking lot, and the rest area. It's nasty, very nasty. So I don't know how it's not considered sewage. But hey, I had to explain two dudes kissing each other in public when she was 4 years old. Yeah, that was not fun. Yeah. All you can do is tell it like it is, and only tell them the basics, like, oh, they just love each other. That's all you can do for a 4-year-old, really. That's all you can do. And we believe in biblical principles, and the Bible says teach a kid the way they should go, and when they are old they will not depart from it. So we know kids are going to go off, usually, not all the time, but most of the time the kids are going to go off and do weird stuff. But when they become 28, 29, they tend to come back and think of, wow, what my parents told me makes better sense than the choices I was making. So I did with my son, when he was in elementary school, and they had sex ed coming up, I opted him out, and I took him across literally. Because it was like a, I don't know, 2-hour class. I took him across the street. There happened to be a church across the street. So I took him across the street, took a pad and a paper. I drew the human anatomy and showed him the differences between a male and a female. And that was the bottom line, all I did. And then when he became older, adolescent age, I told him the two sides of every story. I kind of said, hey, girls are great, aren't they? Yeah, Dad. Of course they are. I'm a guy. Girls are great. But then I told him how going down that road where you'll end up. And then I told the other option. I gave him two choices. Go this route or go this route. And you make the choice. And as he got older and started to bring the girlfriend around, I talked to the girlfriend. I said, look, hey, I think you're a great girl, but I disagree. And that's just me. Because, accidents happen and all that. That's just my beliefs. I don't want to get into all that. But you just give, at a young age, you only give them just what they need, just so you don't overwhelm them with stuff. And then as they get older, you give them a little more. You give them a little more. That's the way I did it. And my son and my daughter are doing really good. My daughter, who had a boyfriend when she was 14 and he was 16, and I totally didn't like that. But I had no say so in it because my daughter lived with her mom. And he is the only, that's the only man she's ever been with. They graduated the day she graduated high school, a week later, they got married. And within a year or later after they got married, they had their first kid. So, and now she's 27 going 26 going on 27, and she's had her fourth kid and they're still together. You know, they're rocking it better than their dad did. So thank God for that. So they learned something pretty good. And that's better than her mom and her dad. So I'm proud of my son and daughter. My son works out at Blue Origins. He's making good money out there, and I told him how to do it and how to be a good hard worker and not to call in sick, and to work hard every day and not talk back to your your leads and supervisors, and show up every day even when you're sick, and let them send you home. And when people are taking off, you keep working hard, and don't be a slouch. Work hard and people will promote you, and that's what's already happened to him. So he's doing really well. I'm real proud of my kids. Homestead Aquarius, thank you. Bless her heart. Lyme disease is a rough thing to endure. I have known some folks that went through it. Hugs to Sherry. Aw, thank you. That's very nice. Yeah, that's all I can do for her, So when I got home, I just hug her. And there's nothing to say. What can you say that you haven't already said? Sorry, baby. I wish you wasn't going through this. I wish you were better. And what else can you say? Yeah. Funny guy. Sometimes I guess I should read the chat before I click on it, right? Yeah, don't sit in the back of a ramp. You're right. Hey, I know it's all fun. I've had, I think my first truck was a Mitsubishi Dodge D50. I think it was Dodge D50 with a Mitsubishi engine in it. I had Mazda. I had Toyotas. I had Nissans. I had Ford, Chevy, GMC, Dodge. I've had Chevrolet. I've had them all, and every one of them have broke. They've all broke. So every truck breaks. But when there's an argument or something about trucks, I just say, can't beat the Ford truck, the Ford cup holders. The Ford cup holders are the best that I've seen. Now I haven't been in the new ones because I can't afford them. So that's why I bought a Ford truck back when I first started. Kind of just staying on the Ford brand. Was the cup holders were amazing. I had Dodge cup holders, and the Dodge cup holders, when you turn a corner, the cup would fall out and dump soda or whatever all over your stereo. I was like, who invented that? Whose idea was that? So I had a blown engine on a Dodge, and I say that was my fault. But and I had electrical problems with my Chevy and suspension, and the Nissan, the transmission, the Mazda, the brakes. The Toyota was really good. It just didn't have power, didn't have the power back then. That was before they made the Tundra. But it doesn't matter what brand you get now. They're all great trucks. They're powerful. They can tow the payload. They can tow your truck trailer with no problem. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatever you get. It's all great stuff. I mean, look at them. Back in the day, the truck had how much horsepower? Probably like 50 horsepower. And then everybody kept going, I can do more horsepower. I can do more. And now we're, the new Ford is pushing 1,000 foot-pound of torque. Am I wrong? I don't remember because I can't afford those kind of things. But I thought I watched something on the amount of foot-pounds of torque that those trucks can put out. Papa Drew says Lyme's disease sucks. I feel bad for her. Please give her a lot of wine. She can have whatever she wants. All right. Sherry's typing as those comments. I'm not typing them. So when you see the RV weekend stuff, typically it's her typing. So is there any other topics we want to talk about? Let's see. Oh man, we're got 40 minutes into this. So any other topics we can talk about? I already mentioned that I'm editing this part 2 of Mayaka River State Park. Don't you like saying Mayaka? Mayaka. I'm editing part 2 where there's going to be, I'm actually on part 2, there's actually going to be some site numbers that I thought were really good sites. If you're interested in them, I didn't take pictures of the sites because I was not thinking I was going to use it in the video. I just went, oh, this is a nice campsite. And I took a picture of the site number and moved on. I did take a picture of one site that I shared in the video that you can see. So that's going to be in the next video. Also, there was another animal that has not been shown before that's going to be on the next video. I'm working on that, and we're hiking down a trail through the swampy woods. Thank God it wasn't wet. We were able to walk through the trails without getting super wet or anything like that, and went to the canopy walk and the tower canopy thing. We went to that and walked around a lot, and then I haven't finished it, so I still got more to do on that video. I got about, I'd say probably another 8 minutes for sure to go, and I'm already at the 20-minute plus mark of video. I'm going to backtrack a little about let's see if we can get that to come up. RV Dog, I have a Cummins and a Ram truck comes with it. Right. Yeah, I was watching, I like watching truck videos, and somebody said, let me see if I can get it right. If you can get the Ford chassis with a Cummins diesel and an Anderson transmission, you'd have the perfect truck with the Ford cup holders and the Dodge cluster or whatever, and whatever Chevy and GMC has out there. If you could make the perfect truck, that's the main thing you put together. Yes, Jonathan Dickinson Park, we are going to hit next weekend. I have never been there. Sherry has never been there. So we're going to Jonathan Dickinson Park next weekend. I'm so excited to go to a new park. We got 3 new parks we're going to hit already booked. So like I said, I just booked. I didn't even tell Sherry because she was kind of sleeping in the other room when I was doing the booking. But I have Trumbull Park, which is a small RV park in Mount Dora, which has about 14 sites. That's pretty small. We saw a place called Marathon Marina in the Keys that had the same thing, like really small number of campsites in Marathon Key. So this is going to be pretty cool. So that's going to be in October. That's the far out as I had to go to get a site that was facing the water. They had sites that were kind of facing the water, but there was a dock there or some trees in the way. So I found a site that literally you can just walk out the back and, about 60 feet away, you're on the bank, and that'll work good because we got kayak. So we're going there in October. Now here's the other one, Fort DeSoto, there in Tampa Bay area, February of 2021. That's how far out I had to go to get a Friday and Saturday that has a site big enough to fit us. They had sites that were 16 foot or less, and they were beachside. I could have got a site like that, but our RV's too big. So I had to keep going later and later and later. Finally, it took me a long time. I think I was on a computer for 2 hours. I'm not making content when I'm doing this, so you can see how non-productive that is. February, we're going to be in Fort DeSoto, 2021. So we got 3 parks we've never been to that we're heading to, and that's a big time goal for us. It's not to do the same parks over and over and over. We want to do new parks we've never done, mom and pop parks. That's what Itchituckney Springs Park is. It's the mom and pop park. We happen to know the guy. My brother worked with the guy who bought that park, so we know him. And we're working behind the scenes, hoping that this time next year, well, let's say fall of next year, we're going to have a meetup with Traveling Robert in Florida. We're hoping, we're trying. I'm working with trying to get Traveling Robert to work with us to get a meetup here in Florida. That would be fantastic. If you've never met him, he is a fantastic, sweet man. We met him. He's just a sweet man. He's actually sweeter in person, it seems, than on his videos. It's kind of, people are different. He's not really different, but he's a little cordial because he's in person talking to you versus a camera. So it was a wonderful time getting to meet Traveling Robert at the Florida Super RV Show, RV Super Show, the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa. That's where we got to meet up with him. So we're trying, like I said, we're in the works trying to talk with him to get a meetup plan. What's our plans for the potential hurricane? Well, it depends on where it's going to hit. I think we're good here as long as we don't get anything over 50-mile-per-hour winds. I think we're good right where we're at. But we have wheels on our house, so we can always take off, So we can always take off. That's not a problem. Now, I am a roofer, so I work for the school board. So you never know what needs they may have. Typically, we're not set up to do any emergency patchwork. I have done it. I've tarped roofs and stuff after a hurricane. So, if we got to run, we take off, and then we'll turn around when it's gone and come back, depending on all that. But, based on the projected path right now, it's a category 1. We're right on that edge, but we can't go by that projection 100%. And again, it depends on the path of that hurricane. We can just pack up and take off. We don't have anything that we are worried about. I mean, I have an enclosed trailer and I have an open trailer that's tarped. And if I have to tarp it more and put more straps on it, I will do it and it'll be fine. So we'll just take off if we have to. Let's see. We're getting some chat stuff going on up here. RV Dog says something. He said, would like to see the Jupiter Lighthouse. Would make a nice video. So I'm assuming the Jupiter Lighthouse is in Jupiter on the East Coast. Yeah, I mean, those are stuff we need to look into. Some other places to go. Right now, it's hard to get sites that aren't planned far in advance. So we're trying to plan. Right now, we're already trying to book for the Keys for next year. We're trying to always book 11 months out. So we're trying to book for next July right now. That's 11 months in August. So we're trying to get in the camp. My sister's already in Bahia Honda, and we're trying to get in Bahia Honda. So that's our next 11-month out pick. Now we're going to try to fill our schedule between Jonathan Dickinson and October, where Trimble Park is. We're going to try to get in. Now, I could have got in Rock Springs or let's say Kelly Park, but they're not allowing swimming in the water, so there's no reason to go there really. And we've been there. I wouldn't mind going there and doing a better documentary of it, but you can't get in the water, so we're not going to go there. So we're going to look for other places in between now and then. So Jupiter Lighthouse would be something to check out. Let's see here. Papa Drew is talking about a truck. He said he had a dream last night about buying a semi toter. Is that how you say it? The truck was white. I have a thing about white trucks. It's just me. So I don't prefer white trucks. I know they're great on heat, reflection. Okay, I didn't pre-read this. Hope we don't get a hurricane right now. We just had an F2 tornado go through our town on Tuesday. No fatalities, but a 3-mile path of destruction in town and neighbors. Yeah. I'm sorry? That was in DeLand. In DeLand. Wow, I didn't hear about that. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, we don't live in the Garden of Eden anymore, and we're not in heaven. So life is fragile, and we could die at any moment. Hate to break the news to you, but Jesus said it's better to go to a funeral than a party, because you keep life in perspective. So thank God nobody was killed. I'm ready to go. I know people don't like to talk like that, but I'm ready to go. Because heaven's much better in this place. But I'm enjoying my life here for sure. Let's see. I'm looking more down the chat here.
The Lighthouse is by Jonathan Dickinson.
Oh, okay. Sherry just said the Lighthouse is by Jonathan Dickinson Park. Okay, I think that's easy choice right there. RV Dog says this, and this is, I'm sure, when I was a kid, it was like this too. RV Dog says, when I started camping, we just walked up, but now you have to have reservation. Well, you don't always have to, but if you're going to do long term, you do. You can overnight at plenty of places. Usually, state parks let you overnight one night. I know Bahia Honda is like that. You can just show up, and they usually have a site for you. But during COVID, you weren't allowed to do that, because we called ahead and said, "Hey, can we come in a day early and do a walk-up site?" And they said, no, you can't, because of COVID. You can't do that. So, yeah, nowadays you got to have a reservation. All right. The chat's getting away from me. Sorry. Yeah, tornadoes, period, are deadly usually. Any tornado, usually you get away from them. All right, here, let's see. Potential hurricane gets gets a kite and a key and can try to power a laptop. Yeah, I have video of power lines touching during a hurricane. It's a very strange sound. Yeah. Hurricanes are great for roofing, but I wish we'd never have another hurricane. I'm not a roofing contractor anymore. I used to be, but not anymore. So let's see. No foul. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch up here. RV Papa Drew says hurricanes are great wind machines to make electric power. I hear they do not have them out here. Yeah. The problem with a hurricane is kind of like a thunderstorm. There's a lot of electricity in a thunderstorm. How do you harness that? Yeah. Lucky Dog Productions says we heard it roar by us after it hit downtown. We went into an interior hallway, but Bob said that was the first time in 21 years he has ever done that. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, I mean, I've been through some serious, some hurricanes. So, hey, Saltwater Born, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Let's see, we're at 14. That's the highest of today that I saw. So that's good. I'm looking at the chat here. Yeah. We live in a place, like I said, we're not in the Garden of Eden, and we're not in heaven. So we definitely have to deal with life. Yeah, Brianna Elizabeth, thanks for making it. We appreciate it. Sherry's not feeling well, so she's laying around in bed. I'm taking over for the time being till she starts feeling better. And guess what? Tomorrow's Friday. If you don't work on the weekend, tomorrow, Friday. So we're pumped about that. Get the whole weekend. I need to pressure clean the roof of the RV, do a little lubrication of all the moving parts again. Guess what? It's time to lube everything. It happens every month. Time to move everything. So I still have to do some repairs from Irma. Yeah. Repairs from hurricanes. Yes. Hey there, Deb Sclad, tidings. I don't know if I said that right. My name's Robert, and my wife is Sherry. She's laying down. Everybody's doing pretty good, other than we had a tornado. Tornado come through Deland. Thank you, Brianna, Elizabeth. Let's see. Lucky Dog's saying some things here. Let's see. It was almost over soon as it started. Yeah, we just thunderstorm. The winds were. Yeah, that happened. That happens. We get now. That's the meteorologists come up with all these terms, right? Well, one term I think is really a good term is a microburst. We get some of these storms that'll blow out 60 and 70 mile per hour winds, and it's not a hurricane. It's just like all of a sudden. I know I felt like my shed was going to blow over when I lived, at a homestead. I had a shed in the backyard, and I saw that thing moving. I'm like, this is not a good thing with the wind coming in like that. So in Florida, you don't know what's going to happen. You can get a lightning strike and catch your house on fire. I've been in a house when it got struck by lightning and had it burn a hole through the soffit, the metal soffit. It was aluminum, and go through that soffit and hit the light outside and fry everything not everything, but fry a lot of stuff in the house because it was plugged in. So we can have that, tornadoes, fires, we can have floods, we can have a hurricane, we can have a storm surge, we can have all that. We can even have an earthquake. We've had earthquakes. They're just not very detectable here in Florida. We've had them, but they're just not very strong. Yeah, I was looking at the radar right before. For the last 2 hours, I was hearing lightning in the distance. It wasn't close, but as I was booking the RV campgrounds, we were getting lightning around us, and it finally got here. It wasn't real strong. It was just like we were on the fringes. I could see the lightning flicker through the skylight when I had my face over there away from the window, and I didn't know what it was. I have my phone. I have a strobe light. That strobe light blinks when a phone message or something alerts. So sometimes I'm like, oh, is that my phone? No, it was lightning. So let me read another comment here. Yeah, you could get a microburst storm here that is stronger than a hurricane. A hurricane 75 miles per hour. You could get, obviously tornadoes can blow over 200 miles an hour here. But a microburst storm has some pretty high winds. It's going to blow some stuff around. I know my sister, where we live, she's picked up some of our stuff after a storm come through because, I have a little recycling bin out here, a couple tarps or whatever.
The thing about Florida with tornadoes is we don't have basements either.
Yeah, in Florida, Sherry just said we don't have a basement here to go down to because of the high water table here in Florida. We don't have basements, so we have nowhere to hide. Nope, nowhere to hide. Winds were worse here than we had during hurricane. I'm sure the winds were much worse where it touched down. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You ever been on one of those roundabout things when you were a kid? You get on and spin it around, and everybody starts running next around it and get really fast. You try to hold on to that thing, and it wants to throw you off. And that's what's so strange about a hurricane. As the hurricane spins, if you're on the eastern north side, you get the worst of it or something because it's moving forward, and as it's moving forward, the wind is blowing too, towards you. If you're in that direction, the wind is stronger, and you get more damage. So if that hurricane goes on the track that it's going, we are in that quadrant. We're in that northeast quadrant because it's showing it's supposed to go south of us in a northwestern movement. So we would be in that stronger area. But if it's a category 1 and the center is not within 50 miles of us, we're in the threat of tornadoes. That's the biggest threat, I think. Other than the winds would probably be 50 miles an hour if the hurricane is 75 to 80 as far as the top winds, because that's going to have to be in the eye to get that. Yes. Hurricanes. Yes. Hurricanes are what I don't miss about living in Florida. Yeah, but you got other stuff, right? What else do you got? You got other stuff. Um, some people have earthquakes and
shorts year round. Yay.
yeah, with shorts year round most of the time. You know, thinking thinking of Sherry's mentioning who's coming up next at 8 o'clock. Feel free to jump off and go support that channel. You feel led to go do that. We're just chatting here, enjoying the time. If you're here to just support us and then to support someone else, feel free to take off and go. Um, that's your call, totally on you. But we appreciate you hanging around and giving us your attention. We're trying to grow our channel also. So thank you for that. Now I got distracted what I was saying. What was I talking about? I was going to make something that came to my mind, and then I missed. A lot of people don't think we don't get cold weather. They think we don't get cold weather here in Florida, and I've been here every day of my life except for vacations. And I remember opening Christmas presents on Christmas, and it'd be 80 degrees outside, so it's been hot. But I also remember the coldest it's been here in my lifetime, and we were in single digits. One time I worked for a concrete company that did tilt up concrete walls, and we were doing work on the Orlando International Airport. And that one day it was 9 degrees and it was very cold. Needless to say, we did not. We showed up for work and they said just go home, and we went home. But I remember in the not too distant past, we had 4 hard freezes in one winter. 4 hard freezes. I don't ever remember having 4 hard freezes. The freeze was so hard that palm trees were dying, and that's hard to do, to kill a palm tree. So we had palm trees wilting and being freezer burnt and just croaking from so much cold weather. 4 different freezes. So it's very rare to have that happen, but I have experienced it. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Good evening. I used to live in Florida and was in a couple of hurricanes, moved to Oklahoma, and been through 3 tornadoes. I give up. Right. You got to pick your poison. You really do pick your poison wherever you live. You never know what's going to happen where you live. There's always adverse weather wherever you go. So you pick what you want to deal with. Here, we don't get snow. I've been here my whole life. I said I've only seen snowfall twice in Central Florida, and not enough to scoop it in your hand. It was just like a little tiny dusting, enough to see icicles. It was totally cool. Yeah. So RV Dog says that we do get ice. Typically what happens is we get a high pressure system comes through, and we get super cold weather, but we don't get much precipitation, so we don't get snow. We have had some, very little, nothing to measure. So we do get cold, but last year I don't think we got freezing at all. It didn't freeze last year. As a matter of fact, it was a little too warm for my taste. Yeah, it was definitely warm. RV Dog says it was freezing when the space shuttle blew up. That's right. It was. When Challenger blew up, it was freezing. I remember that. Yeah. And the thing about Florida is sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it'll be, upper 30s and it'll shoot up to the 70s in 3 hours. It's crazy how, we'll lose that cold so quickly in the middle of the day. That it'll just heat up, and next thing you know, you'll be sweating. I mean, if you're working outside, if you're standing outside, it's not a big deal. That's something that I always had a chat with my siblings all the time. They would go, hate this cold weather, and it'd be like 60 degrees or 55 degrees. I hate this cold, and I understand it. And you love Florida, and that's why you come to Florida and all that. But I'm like, if you're working outside, man, I'm digging it when I can, work hard and not sweat dripping down in my face all the time, and your skin gets raw from rubbing your sweats. Yeah. And everything's wet from your head to your toes from sweat. So I enjoy the cooler weather. I don't want it so cold that you can't do anything, but hey, you got to take the freezing with the good weather, right? In Florida, you do. So let's see here if I can get this to pop up here. Avenger RV Adventure says, if I can get it to come up, 28 degrees, I believe, when it blew up. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's not needed. There's, that's a sad thing that those things happen. I don't consider that an accident when, they know the risk and they know the things that could go wrong, and there's a good chance it could go wrong that you do it. Same thing when Columbia burned up coming back. They knew there was a risk and they didn't listen. They just took a chance. You roll dice like that, and you don't be thorough, so it's not necessary for people to perish like that. I understand they signed up for it, but it's one thing to take a risk when everything's working right, but the other thing is when there's a higher risk. We, shouldn't do that. Wow, wow. Let me get this comment up. Our cabin in the woods. Thanks for coming in. You watched the shuttle through a telescope and it blew up. Wow. Yeah. I tell you what, when I saw it happen, I was watching it live. I remember exactly where I was. I could still go there right now. It was in Cocoa, not Cocoa Beach, but in Cocoa, the city of Cocoa, an old historic Cocoa, downtown Cocoa. I worked at a paint and carpet store that is no longer in business. It's now like a restaurant. And I remember going outside to watch it. Now, I'm not used to that perspective because where I live, it's a different angle. It's totally different. So when I saw what has happened, and I didn't see what the other cameras were seeing, because in the other cameras, they saw this like a wishbone. From my perspective, I saw this. So I didn't see the two boosters going in these weird directions. So I didn't really know what was happening. So I was a little naive, I guess, because in 86, I believe it was, I was a young adult, so I wasn't sure what was transpiring. I didn't even see anything wrong until I saw the parachute and stuff coming down. And I remember going, that ain't cool. And then I heard him say the vehicle had exploded or something like that. So crazy stuff. So I don't know how we got on that. Yeah. So yeah, some people sitting in the living room. I've lived right here I've lived here my whole life in this county, and I seen a lot of rockets go up. I have, seen a lot of pictures from my father. He worked at the Space Center. I worked at the Space Center for almost 10 years and went out on my own business doing a roofing contractor. So I enjoyed working out there. I made good money. And I love the atmosphere and where I was at. It was beautiful. I really was into that technology and space travel and the history of it. I remember going to areas where I'm like, this is where they launched that first rocket and all that stuff. It's really cool. Cape Canaveral Air Force Station on the other side of the island, because Merritt Island is where Kennedy Space Center is. And Cape Canaveral Air Force Station is not on Merritt Island. It's on the peninsula out there. And over in Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, they have a place that resembles the early beginnings of the visitor center for the Space Center. And they have lots of rockets. They call it a rocket garden because they had rockets everywhere. And they had the first like speeding jets and stuff like that, on display. So it was really cool to see. I enjoy it a lot. Now I'm actually, kind of putting out the tentacles for the SpaceX. They're looking for people now, a lot of people out at SpaceX. And my son works for Blue Origins, who is trying to catch up to SpaceX to start launching some rockets. He's got a great job. He's an IT tech, He's got a great job. I don't have the skills for IT. I know I could do some computer stuff, but I don't have that degree. But he got in. But there's other jobs I could do that I'm thinking about. See, I have to make a decision on that because I know there's a lot of potential to make more money there. But they're also work pretty hard. SpaceX is a driven company, and my sister works for SpaceX, and she says they work hard. You know, they make good money, but they are pushing constantly to do a good job, and that's how it should be. You know, I kind of like the private enterprise running the space program because when I worked there, it was too lazy and lackadaisy and money being wasted. So I kind of like the private industry doing it. All right, let me see if I can get this chat to pop up. I have not figured this. There we go. We were on top of a car dealer roof on every launch, and we all had cameras and scopes. I will never forget it. My older son went to the space camp there for the kids, week-long deal. Yeah, and the space camp is gone. I went by there recently. The space camp is no longer there. The only thing that is still in that area is the law enforcement or the police officers Hall of Fame there, and there's a firing range there, to which I've went there and used the firing range. So yeah, the kids space camp is gone. You know, I would assume it because I didn't live in this town for 20 years, 21 years. I just recently moved back. So I don't know when it went away. I would assume it went away in the late 2000s, you know, before 2010 when the recession hit. Yeah, RVDJ, they used to televise the space shuttle launches in return for us in middle school. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I got some great video on an old VHS.
I used to watch it too.
Yeah, Sherry said she used to watch it too in school. I had some killer footage. Killer. That's my age, right? I got some great footage of the space shuttle coming out of space and landing at the Kennedy Space Center. I mean, I had visual on that thing before the sonic booms hit, you know, before it's slower than the speed of sound, which was really cool. You know, I got this old VHS camera and I'm zoomed in and up on the sky and I can see this black dot moving and I'm holding the camera on it while it's going around and doing its S turns and figure eights and stuff. And then I got it the whole way to where it lined up with and I was literally right next to the space shuttle landing facility, the runway. I wasn't on the runway, but I was next to it because there's a road that runs parallel to it. So I was on that road that runs parallel to it. So I literally got video of it coming out of the sky and landing. It was totally, totally cool. Hey, thanks for coming in our cabin in the woods. We appreciate it. So we could do a little recap for those of you who came in a little late. Sherry's under the weather. She's dealing with Lyme disease and she's having a bad day. So I'm holding down the fort for her as best I can. We're a team, so she does her part and I do my part. So it's not as smooth when she's not here. But we talked about the next trips we got planned. We're going to Jonathan Dickinson Park, State Park in a week. We'll plan on go there for next weekend. And I got to dump my tanks tomorrow because I've been here almost 2 weeks and it's time to dump. So my black tank is high as it's ever been. So I got to go make a tiptoe dump. So, you know, I got to tiptoe so I don't get a splash everywhere. So I got to drive real carefully. Thank God I don't have to go down a bumpy road and go over a bridge or something like that. Railroad tracks. I would not want to go over railroad track. So we got a pretty easy shot. I think the hardest part is getting out of this yard. There's a swell, you know, a little swell. So I got to try to go through that without creating a big splash. And we got to go do that. And after Jonathan Dickinson, we're looking to find some other places to go between now and October, because in October we booked Trimble County Campground. That's in October, which is a park we've never been to. We've never been to Jonathan Dickinson's State Park. We've never been there. And we have coming up in Christmas. I know we've already talked about it. You may not have heard. We're going in the Panhandle of Florida. So we're going to be driving about 8 hours from where we're at now to head to the Panhandle of Florida. We're going to be going to the Florida Caverns, which is going to be amazing. I've never been there. We're going to go to Destin, Florida, which I have been there. And it's beautiful. I can't wait to get back into that white sandy beach sand in Destin, Florida. Sherry's never been. She's going to love sticking her feet in that sand, rubbing her toes in it. Might be cold because we're going in January. We're going right after Christmas. I get 2 weeks off for the holidays, and we're going to be going right after Christmas. We'll be heading through the Panhandle. We might find a place to boondock or try to find an overnight halfway there, maybe Panama City or maybe Gainesville or something like that. We don't know yet. Matter of fact, it probably wouldn't be a good thing to look up to find a place. And then after that, we have booked a Fort DeSoto in the Tampa Bay area. We booked that. We've never been there. I've heard it's spectacular, and I'm so excited to go in the cooler weather. I love camping in the cool weather. I know everybody else, in the nation is froze over and can't camp, and they come down here because it's hard for us to get campsites in the wintertime down here because everybody from up north is getting them. So it's hard for us to get them. So we're looking forward to Fort DeSoto in Tampa. And let's see, what did I got? February, I think it was. February. Yeah, in the middle of February. So excited to go there. And we got trips planned. We actually already have Tomoka for next year. We have Silver Springs for next year. Matter of fact, Silver Springs is going to be the next park we're going to edit. Speaking about editing, I got part 2 of Myakka River State Park. Thanks, Roy and Becky, for coming. We appreciate it. Go have dinner. Have a great night. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, fall is your camping time, RB Dog. I feel you, definitely. So let's see here. We have, like I said, Silver Springs. I'm working on the Myakka River Parks part 2, which is going to be longer than part 1. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it went past 30 minutes. What do you guys think about that? A 30-minute video. How's that going to go over? So I got that coming up, and some animals that weren't planned that we got to see on part 2. And we went out of the park to do some video footage. So tune in on Sunday. We plan on doing that premiere on Sunday after our live chat. And that'll be Sunday at 3, I think, somewhere around there. 3 o'clock. I think our live is at 2, and we'll do it at 3. So that'll be the next video up. And then Silver Springs, I'll start editing that after I'm done with Myakka. I actually have some IRS work I got to do, which is, I know work is a pain, but I do have to do it. I got to do my tax returns. Linda R, hey, how you doing? Have y'all ever been to Sanibel Island? I have been to Sanibel Island. Have you, Sherry?
I think so.
Sherry says she thinks she's been there. I've been to Sanibel Island. It's been a long time. And I didn't go camping. I just drove in a vehicle there and stayed in a hotel or something. But it's been a long time. I've been there in a long time.
I'd love to go.
What are some of the things that are interesting there in Sanibel besides lots of seashells? Because that's what I've heard. There's lots of seashells there.
Yeah, we only went for the day.
Yeah. What else is there to see, at the Sanibel Island? I know it was expensive. I remember you got to pay a lot to eat, and you got to pay a lot to go over the bridge or something like that. It was pretty expensive. And that's one thing that stuck out to me. It was expensive, and it wasn't all that. But
that's all I know of.
What's that, baby?
We went shelling.
Oh, yeah. Picking up shells. So tell me, what else is there to do there? We might try to get in there. But yes, I'm doing Silver Springs State Park after part 2 of my Yucca River State Park. And then we'll be doing the Keys. You guys have no idea how much video I have of the Keys. Hopefully it doesn't get corrupted by the time I'm saying all that buildup. I am so looking forward to editing the Keys video. I always looking forward to all videos. I really am. I'm looking forward to Silver Springs, our close encounter with the alligator live kind of thing. Sherry did. So I'm looking forward to that. Silver Springs and the clear water in Silver Springs. Man, I got some great underwater video of Silver Springs. And looking forward to that. And then the Keys. My goodness. Can you imagine 2 weeks of video in the Keys? Just imagine 2 weeks of video in the Keys. And we did a pretty good job documenting it. So I'm going to have spinoff series there. We're going to be how to catch, clean, and cook lobster tail. That's going to be a spinoff. Then another spinoff is going to be this is not the title, but Bahia Honda State Park. We're going to do a thorough documentary of the park. I don't know what you would call it. Not really a documentary, but we're going to show you all the campgrounds, sites as much as we could without bugging people in their campsites. We're going to show all those campsites, where you can camp, where you can go to the beach, what you can do besides get in the water, a few restaurants in the area. We didn't go restaurant hopping very much because we're kind of a little bit frugal, but we did go to a couple of restaurants. We were looking to go to a different restaurant, but everybody wanted to go with us. And they wanted to sit outside, and the place we wanted to go was inside. So we went with them. We just said, okay, let's go that way. So we went to Sunset Grill, which everybody's heard of and everybody's been there. And it's good. It's very good. I like going there. So I'm looking forward to, having the detailed analysis of Bahia Honda State Park and drone footage. Don't forget about drone footage. Man, I got some pretty good drone footage. I haven't even looked at it because I'm busy editing video and working for a living and taking care of Sherry and washing dishes and cooking food and taking care of the RV and all those things. I got to go dump black tank tomorrow, and I got to lube up the RV, do maintenance and pressure clean the roof. There's so much to do on the RV. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys the drone footage in the Keys. It's going to be phenomenal. We got really good pictures of the old historic bridge that's falling apart. We were right next to it. We went under it and all that. So we got great video of that. And we went island hopping on a boat. Stopped at Sandbar, sat in Sandbar, went out to the reef. Woo! We got underwater footage of the reef and beautiful fish. Oh my goodness. It's just beautiful. Deep water, 26 feet deep or whatever. Looking down to the bottom, it's clear as day. You can see the bottom, no problem. Fish and all kinds of stuff everywhere. It's like Finding Nemo in there. So it's definitely going to be a great video. And of course, our other camping adventures, the snorkeling, looking at lobsters before we catch them, just scoping them out, and beautiful sunsets. Don't forget about that. And eating ice cream. We didn't get a bunch of pictures of us eating key lime pie on a stick, which I regret. But we did eat it, and we do have 2 in our freezer. We have 2 key lime pies dipped in chocolate on a stick in our freezer, waiting for that day we want to break them out. So that's going to be fun to enjoy. We also added a freezer. We bought a 3 cubic foot freezer so we can store more food and not have to worry about overheating our freezer in here. Because if you fill up the freezer and these absorption freezers, they don't freeze. They freeze an area, but they don't freeze everything. So you can't crowd a freezer in these absorption camper freezers. So they're very limiting. You get a popsicle and you put too many in there, it just doesn't keep them cold. So we bought an extra small freezer for storing some extra groceries, so we don't have to go to the groceries every 3-4 days. So that was a necessity we thought was very important. All right, so let me get back to the chat. Lots of shells, Linda says. There's lots of shells and sand dollars. I'm trying to click on it so we can see it on the screen. I'm not good at this clicking thing. It's not working for me. I don't know the sweet spot. There's a lighthouse on the beach. Is that on Sanibel too? That Avenger RV. Sanibel. What did I say?
Yeah, we might have to check Sanibel out.
Yeah, we might have to check Sanibel out. Any monkeys? No, we heard about the monkeys at Silver Springs. We heard about them, but they said they're seasonal, something like that. Right? Is that what they said?
Yeah, they said they're out there all the time, but they usually hide during certain times of the year.
Yeah, they're not out in the heat of the day. But check out some YouTube videos of those monkeys. I saw somebody showing some videos of monkeys jumping out of trees into the spring. That was phenomenal. I mean, they were jumping from 25, 35 feet in the air into the water, into the river.
Early spring, I think, is when they said they're the most active.
Early spring, Sherry's yelling. Yes, we heard about those monkeys at Silver Springs, but we did not see them. Yes, we love the Keys too. We love the Keys a lot. That's why this time we stayed 2 weeks, and it was so wonderful to stay there for 2 weeks. It was wonderful. I would, man, if we can get a water site this year or for next year, sorry. We've been trying to get a water site for this year. We've been trying. We haven't got a site yet. My sister got a site already. So we're trying every day to get a site at Bahia Honda for next year. And hopefully we get one before the lobster season, mini season passes. But either way, we're going to get one eventually. So we love going. And that was the first time I ever stayed 2 weeks in the Keys nonstop. It was wonderful. Usually I've went from there for 2 days, 1 night and 2 days. I mean, that's how crazy I was about going there and catching lobsters. I literally drove all morning, got there first thing in the morning, caught lobsters, stayed the night, woke up again, caught lobsters, and drove home. I've done that. Crazy when I was young, but I can't do that anymore. So now we did that to 2 weeks, and 2 weeks, just a complete heaven, being able to relax and not rush to have to do things. We went to Key West. We went back to Isla Mirada, to the Florida Keys brewery, I think it was. Got some pictures of that beautiful place. Not enough pictures, but we did get some pictures there. Looked at a couple monuments and did some, window shopping. A lot of places, not a lot, but there were places closed. The tourist attractions, some of them were closed. You couldn't get in. So it was kind of a bummer. But we did go to a lot of places that were open. So there's some places we'd already been that we didn't go back. So we didn't touch on everything there, but let's see. Thank you, Sherry. I see your comment. Okay, so we're going to try to go to Avenger RV Adventure. Yes, Lighthouse is on the beach on Sanibel. Okay, we love lighthouses, so we might have to go check that out. We'll have to search for a campground in that area of Fort Myers, right? I'm guessing. I forgot. I can pull up my trusted map to pull up where. I know it's on the West Coast. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it near Punta Gorda? I don't remember. I should just type it in, right? Type it in. That'd be easier. Sanibel, yeah. Oh, Fort Myers, yeah. South of Punta Gorda. I see it there. Yeah, I think that'd be a great little exploration place to go explore. I didn't hear anything. Anybody have any comments about? Sorry about getting too close. I'm adjusting my seat. Any comments about what you like to see in videos? Do you like to see more details or just fluff over things and see the overview? Because right now I like details. I like to see what people are doing in some certain things. So we did a long hike in the woods at Mayaka, and it could get boring for some people, I'm sure. I tried to keep it interesting. It looked like it was interesting to me. That's why I kept going. Hey, Johnny's Journeys, we probably need to get off of here, right? We've been here long enough. I'm getting dry mouth. It's 8:30. It's been an hour and a half. I need to edit some video, right? 8:30. Soon it'll be time to go to work again. What a pain, right? Go back to work. So our next live is going to be Sunday at 2:00. That's what it's scheduled for. Sherry brought me this map. It's a map of Mayaka River State Park. Look at that park. It was like 7 miles to go all the way to the other. And look how far it goes. Look at my over here. That's like 7 miles to go to the other side of that park. And there's a gate. You can go out. It's a nice big park. Beautiful park. And we already booked next year. Ready to go. It was Johnny's Journey said last night she froze. It was 56 degrees. 56 degrees. Where was it 56 degrees at? New York, upstate. Okay, I see. Hi, back in upstate New York. I see that. Linda R says, I love seeing everything. Thank you. We always need feedback. Can't give you what you want unless we know what you want. That's what I tell my wife. Can't give you what you want unless you tell me what you want. Do guys have any problem telling their wives what they want? I don't think so. No comment, Sherry says. I think that's the problem, right? We never stop saying it. Yeah. Oh, you're the he, Johnny. Sorry. Sorry, Johnny's Journey. Sorry. I make that mistake. I've made that mistake before. Sorry. Is there anyway, let's not go there. Let's not go there. My bad. That's why Sherry should be here correcting me. So yeah, I'm trying to finish up part 2 of Mayaka River State Park, and it's a long one. It's going to be 30 minutes, I think. It's going to be a long video. Think about it. Trying to sit down for 2 to 3 hours a night and get a high quality edited music involved and not bad video going is a lot of work. I'd love to update my computer because it's chopping sometimes. It's getting slow and bogging down. I probably need to have someone come by and clean it up for me because I'm not a computer guy. All right. Thanks, Homestead Aquarius. Have a nice evening. Thank you for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we probably should get off, right? Because everybody's been here long enough. So why don't we do, let me get over here and clear off some things so I can see the off button. So yeah, our next live is going to be Sunday at 2:00, and we'll be premiering Mayaka River State Park Part 2 at 3:00. So make sure you tune in for that, and please keep Sherry in your prayers for healing. We pray God will heal her and 100% and not have to deal with any problems with this Lyme disease. So we really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you on Sunday.